Ended up getting the front and rear paint matched, so the car actually looked good for once. And then 2 weeks later, I drove under the back of a F-250. Hey guys, my name is Timmy Briseno, and this is my 1976 Corvette Stingray. You can follow me on Instagram at 1976 Corvette Stingray, all one word. So I'm just going to give you a quick look around, kind of explain. So I got my car when it was right before my 16th birthday. I bought it off of my neighbor, and this was in 2011. So I'm 30 now, I just turned 30, but I've had the car for 7 out of the last 15 years. And this was my first car when I was in high school, and everyone kind of laughed and thought they were crazy, but at the time, and still even today, the prices are affordable enough to where you can get a good driver, or even find one that needs a little work and get it driving relatively inexpensively. All these parts are readily available. Any Chevy 350 parts really work on it, and they produced them for 15 years, so a lot of the stuff is interchangeable. It's not impossible to fix it up.
What happened here?
So yeah, this is what I was explaining, 7 out of the 15. So I bought this car right before my 16th birthday, and when I purchased it, it didn't have a front bumper on it, and the rear bumper was completely white. It was bone stock fiberglass. And those original polyurethanes had decayed and crumbled off, so the guy wanted to fix it. So he replaced the back one, but never got around to the front. So we ended up getting the front and rear paint matched, so the car actually looked good for once. And then 2 weeks later, I drove under the back of a F-250. I popped up over a hill, and he was parked at the bottom of the hill at the light, and I just slid right under the back of him. So insurance totaled out the car, it went to auction, someone bought it, and he took it home, did a garage repair job, as you can see in the front. So it technically has a salvage title. I found that guy on Craigslist right before I went to college, and I tried to buy it back from him, and I didn't have nearly any money, and I kind of offered him everything I had, and he said nope, not enough, which is understandable. It definitely wasn't enough for the car. So I kind of just said, all right, let me know when and if you sell it, who you sell it to, I'd love to buy it back. And the trail went dead there. I reached out to him, he had no idea who he sold it to. So I kind of thought it was lost. Fast forward about 4 years, I'm in college, still flipping cars, and I was at the DMV and just thought, oh, I'll ask them, if I can prove prior ownership of a vehicle, can you give me the name or the owner? And the lady was like, not really allowed to, but if you can actually prove it's your car, I'll do it. So I brought all the paperwork, and she gave me the last name of the guy in his town. And the town in Missouri is like 1,200 people. I was like, this will be so easy. Found him on Facebook in 10 minutes, and his profile picture was the car. So reached out to him, became friends with him, and pestered him for 7 years. COVID hit, and at this point I'd already graduated. I lived in Washington, D.C., and I was home for Christmas one day, and my mom was like, just ask him if he would sell it. And so I sent him a Facebook message, and surprisingly, he said, yeah, come on down and buy it. So went back out to his place, and it was in not a pole barn, but not like a garage. It wasn't sealed. So it was covered in dust, running on like 5 cylinders. Was able to pop it to life, get some gas in it, and then new tires, shipped it to DC, and I've had it for 4 years now.
Cool. And so you've done a lot of work to this car.
Yeah, definitely. So the engine, when I was in high school, the original engine failed. It sat forever. It was leaking everywhere. We ended up throwing a rod bearing in it, and the cheapest option at the time was to put a crate motor in it. So we got it at Jegs, and it was a Jegs engine through O'Reilly's Auto Parts at the time. There was 3 options. There was the short block, which was like a ton of more manual work to get it working. Long block that was mid-dressed, which wasn't like the souped up engine, like the 345 horsepower one. And then there was a souped up one. We went with the mid-dressed, like stage 2 long block. So it's a 4-bolt main, maybe has 10,000 miles on it. Since then I've added Hooker long tube headers, the Edelbrock Q-Jet high-rise intake. The only original part of the engine is the Quadrajet. So I'm using the original Quadrajet from 1976 on a high-rise intake with a factory lower half of a 76 manifold. So I was able to get the cold air working again. And this is the air cleaner top half assembly from a 71 to a 72 Stingray. I think part of it's gatekeeping, but part of it's also like, so I don't know. It's hard. I do know there are a lot of young kids who are interested in C3s, and I see more and more kids in them every day. I used to think I was like the only kid in America to have a Corvette as a first car in high school, right? And then like now I see it all the time on Instagram. Kids have nicer Corvettes than I do, and they're still 15, 16 years old, so it's crazy. There's a buddy of mine back near DC, Mark. He got his 82 collector edition as his first car, and I've been watching him the last 3 or 4 years fix that up to a really nice looking Corvette. So there are young kids, and if you are looking at them, I would say do not be discouraged or intimidated by fiberglass or old cars, because the fiberglass is difficult, but it doesn't rust, and you can pretty much do anything to the engine the same way you could do with any Camaro or anything.
They're easy to work on. So.
Yeah, a lot of room. You have a lot more engine room, especially with the way the hood opens.
All right, Tim. Well, thank you so very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Congratulations. Good
Thank you.
car.